How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Monday. How are we doing? Let me turn this up a little bit. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. We have a really cool topic for today's discussion that I really want to share with you, and I felt really inspired to share with you all. I think it's going to be very helpful as I feel like a lot of people are navigating through this in their lives, right? And it's something that I discovered myself, and I made it into a formatted formula that really helps, I think, people understand, right? And how to navigate through stress and how to navigate through anxiety and depression and things of that nature. So I'm excited to, good afternoon, Lisa. I'm doing well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking, user 8130333941. I'm doing fantastic, feeling great. I love Mondays because it's, in the scheme of the universe, Monday is just something we created as humans, but for me, it's like a start of a new week. It's a fresh start, and it really sets off another opportunity for me to show up differently than I did last week. In this beautiful world. So, hello everybody, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, and perhaps maybe even good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's topic is called the warrior versus the inner child. And I want to explain to you what I mean by that. I was briefly talking about it earlier, but let me close the door. Give me one sec. All right, so there is let me start with this. I started, as some of you may already know, doing life coaching because it drove me with everything that I had gone through in my life. It really drove me to do this when I was thinking about like what I wanted to do as far as like having a more purposeful and meaningful life. I was working in corporate and working for Google and having a dream job, all this great stuff, and I was not happy. And I found that happiness isn't in money. Happiness isn't in things that we get, in like materialistic things. And I learned more and more about this, and I thought that's where, to an extent, of course, that's where I was going to be happy if I had my dream job and if I had all this money and all these things. And I had a moment of reawakening, if you will. And before that moment came to me, before I even started working at Google, I think like 3 years before that, about 3 years or so, I learned that about this warrior and inner child that I'm going to be sharing with you all next. So I'm just getting some music here, a little bit more soothing for this conversation. Okay, so here we go. The warrior. Now, when you think about a warrior, right, I want you to, what comes into mind, right? Like some of you may think of it as a soldier. Some of you may think of power. Some of you may think of that individual, right, that represents strength and that represents protection, destruction, whatever it may be, right? But a warrior signifies someone or something, right, that it fights. And yes, emotional strength. There's a lot of different types of definition when it comes to warrior. So I want you to think about it as whatever definition you have of a warrior. Keep that in mind, right, as we are continuing to discuss this. And then I want you to think about your inner child. And when you think about inner child, what does that mean to you? What is that? When I say that, how does that speak to you? What resonates with you? For me, inner child is, and the way I reference it is our purest self, is our most purest self, because our inner child is is when we are a child, we are at our most purest, right? We don't know anything. We don't have any influences or anything from anybody else, or anything else from the world. And we are able to be our most pure self, right? With no outside perspectives or anything like that. So you have a warrior, you have the inner child, right? Two very, very different definitions and two very different people or things, right? This one represents strength and warrior and whatever your definition may be. And then this one represents peace, love, innocence, and so on and so forth. Well, I believe that we all have an inner child and a warrior that we walk with every single day of our lives. And I'm going to explain that to you a little bit more. And what the problem is that most of us walk around with our warrior in front of us. We live with our warriors at hand, right? And we have developed this warrior with everything that we've gone through in life. All the painful things that we've gone through in life, that warrior, we had to create this warrior to protect us, right? With all the pain, all the heartbreaking. I had a lot of coffee this morning, so. I want you to think about everything you've gone through in your life and how that's given you thicker skin, has made you more protected of that inner child, right? That exists within you. And as the years have gone by, that warrior has gone stronger, and you've become more and more protected of that inner child. So think about the inner child like this and the warrior like this. At one point in your life, it was just your inner child, and as your life went on, you created this warrior that went in front of your inner child. And this warrior made sure that you did not suffer anymore. This warrior created a safe space for the inner child, and this warrior created fear. This warrior also created, you not wanting to be uncomfortable or being able to be as brave to be able to face certain things that could potentially hurt you, right? So this warrior is good. It's very good, but at the same time, you're not allowing your inner child to live. You're not allowing for you to really be who you are, to live at your full potential, because the warrior is just right here blocking everything. So hopefully that makes sense, like that analogy that I've created. And this is why I want to share with you all, and I'm making a workshop about this because I find that it's so important. Whereas everything that's going on in the world, with everything people are going through, I wanted to come up with a solution that was easy to digest and something that everyone could comprehend. And that was the warrior and inner child effect, and how so many of us walk like this, and we should be walking like this in alignment. There are times for you to lean on this warrior, and that that it's there. You can bring it in to protect you from certain things. But you shouldn't be walking in life with fear. You shouldn't be walking in life with being over protective and scared of everything and worried about everything, because that's not the way to live. It's not the way to live. It's not who you are as a person. It's not that inner child that exists within you. And this inner child wants to just come out so bad, but it's so afraid because it's been hurt. And ever since it's been hurt, you've created this warrior that's always been there to protect it. And so I want to teach people to slowly do this right here, to slowly allow the warrior to give the confidence of the inner child to shine more, and to really be able to show up with your true self. And when you do that, ladies and gentlemen, your confidence starts to shine. Your belief in yourself starts to shine. Your true unlimited world and existence, and the limitless possibilities start to really expand, and your light shines and people can see and feel it. But a lot of you are in this warrior state, and some of you have a hard time even looking yourself in the mirror and saying one nice thing about yourselves. a lot of you, this warrior has protected you so much from so much pain that the idea of me even saying this is even scary. And I want you to know that I understand that feeling. I understand that feeling because I went through it myself. You know, growing up from being with parents that were emotionally and physically abusive, to coming from a different country and dealing with bullying, with dealing with my mother. She tried to commit suicide, and kind of, you know, walking in on that and being the strength, being the rock for my family, to everything I experienced from the military, to so much, right? That all these experiences that I experienced, sorry, I lost my train of thought. You know, all this really just, it really helped me understand this warrior and inner child, and I didn't want to feel like this anymore. I didn't want to feel so sad and depressed and walk around with anger. I had a lot of anger, and I didn't understand, like, why do I feel this way? And it just came to me as a sort of a download, you know, that's what it is I had created this warrior to survive. And I know a lot of you are just surviving, and have been surviving, and have been doing the best you can all of your life, right? And you just you want to so bad for this inner child to come out, but are afraid because you have some deep wounds, some deep scars. But it doesn't have to be like this, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why I want to share this with you, this perspective, and this something for you to think about, okay? Because now that you understand that, you can maybe reflect a little bit and say, like, what does that warrior look like? Who is this warrior that I have created? And most importantly, like, what does my inner child look like? How many of you have been in touch with your inner child recently? You'll know, because it's a really peaceful feeling in your heart and in your soul. You'll know because it's those moments where you're doing things and you just feel great for no apparent reason. That is when you're tuning into your inner child, and you allow this warrior to just kind of like, hey, it's okay. This is a safe space. I'm okay. But the inner child and that beautiful light that we all have is something that exists within all of us. And we are not doing ourselves any justice by not allowing us to live in that harmonious space, in that harmonious peace and true and pure love. So a lot of what I work with people is really getting them into that vibrational field where we can learn to just identify the warrior, right? And identify the inner child, and then understand, when did this warrior come in and why? And when this warrior came into your life, how did that shape your entire life, the rest of your life, right? And it's a process, and we have to go back in time to really touch on that and give you that perspective, and most importantly, to be able to comprehend and forgive, right? Because a lot of the wounds and a lot of the pain that we have is because we haven't forgiven ourselves or others. And some things, as deep as they may be, if you don't let that go, if you don't forgive, it will continue to be there, the tension and that feeling of like, oh, I don't want to feel like this anymore. You're fighting, you see, you're fighting yourself. And life is too short for that, ladies and gentlemen. Life is too short. Life is too beautiful to be battling yourself. And there's so much going on right now that you just in the world, and so much is surfacing maybe for some of you. And that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to look at that and say, what does this mean? What is this pain that's coming up? Like, what does it mean to me? Like, why is it coming up? And what am I gonna do with it? You see, another thing is, most of us want to get to a goal, right? My whiteboard is being used right now. But let's pretend that this is your goal. And most of us want to get somewhere because that somewhere where we want to get to the goal is it's better than our current state. Very seldom, or almost rarely, almost never I should say, do I ever hear people like, oh, I want a shitty life. No, people say, I want a good life. I want to be happier. I want this, I want that. So people want things that are better than their current state. But you see, the only way that we can know to want something better is by experiencing shitty things, or things that are not maybe the best, right? If they don't feel the best. If we don't have that, then how do you know what you want is better, right? Does that make sense? Like, so it's necessary to have pain. It's necessary to have anger and all these emotions, because it's perspective. It's an opportunity to grow. We are leveling up, because in order for us to get to maybe some of you ladies want a husband who is wealthy and has his own business, just as an example, right? And then you get it, but then you're like, you know, he works all the time. He doesn't have time for me. This is not what I want. But you got what you wanted, but it wasn't what you expected, right? And that bad experience, or that experience, can now give you a perspective to what you really want. That maybe abundance or money is not as important as having a connection. You want someone that's empathetic, a husband that's empathetic, a man who's in touch with his feminine side, but yet is masculine. Whatever it is, right? But you wouldn't know that unless you experience this experience here with the businessman that you wanted. So you see, that's just the beauty of life, the journey of it. The journey of just understanding that the things that come to us, right, is an opportunity. An opportunity for us to learn, and an opportunity to say, how do I want to move on? Do I want to take all the things that hurt me from this experience and then continue to show up with my warrior? Do I want to allow a time and a space for me to learn from this, to become stronger, but also get in tune with my inner child and ensure that I'm in the right path for my next chapter, or my next step in my life? So think about that for a minute. Think about that. And don't think about it just from here. Think about it from here. We all want things in life. We want happiness, abundance, peace, love, harmony, many different things, excitement, fun. But why? Because at some point we had a taste of that, or we think that is going to be what's going to make this current state better. We're so busy chasing what we want instead of taking a moment to say, where am I now? How am I now? Am I feeling good? Because if I'm not feeling good today, tomorrow is not going to be good either. If my heart isn't in alignment with my inner child, and if I'm not feeling at peace with myself, I'm not feeling love with myself and harmony and complete clarity, then no matter how much we want this, it's going to seem like it's almost keeps getting further and further away each time because we're not leading ourselves in the right way, in the way we should be, in harmony and peace. We allow ourselves to do that, then we are able to really be in touch with our full potential. And things will happen to you. You will reach your goals in a lot more, in a smoother way. You're going to start to notice that things start to happen and that it take little to no effort. But you have to lean into that discomfort. You have to be willing to be brave with yourself. You have to be willing to allow the warrior to take aside and say, I'm going to be vulnerable tomorrow, today, most importantly today, so that I can grow, so I can live my life as my true self. Because tomorrow is not a promise. And so many of us live in the yesterday and the tomorrow, but we forget about the most important space and time, which is in the now. The now shapes the future, and the now decides whether you are going to relive your past. And there's something beautiful about that. Because I think that that's what life is about. It's understanding. Understanding that we are in full control at all times to live a harmonious life if we just allow ourselves to do it. So I'm going to take a break there and I'm going to read some of your comments because I haven't been reading any of them. I just want to be really present when I speak to you guys when it comes to this. So I'm going to take a moment here to read. Oh wow, there's a lot of them. Some of your comments. Hope everybody's doing awesome. Again, if you're just joining, thank you so much for joining. Yes, the timing of this now, is right now. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely in survivor mode every day. It's so exhausting. Okay, that is Nikki. You are in survivor mode because, like I said, you are like this. Your inner child is, I don't know, Nikki, are you still here? Let me see if Nikki's here. I don't want to, okay, Nikki has left. So I am not going to address that because I have a lot of comments to catch up. But basically, Nikki's is doing this. When you are like this, when you have the warrior in front of you, you're going to feel that survivor mode. Because your inner child is like it's crawled down in a ball in the corner, and you're just doing your best, and your warriors at full force, just fighting everything, right? These thoughts and the past, what the past has done, and the wounds that the inner child has now. So yeah, I understand that. A lot of you, I can understand that. A lot of you are living this way. My inner child is light, joy, and vulnerability. Oh, I love that. Yes, 100%. That is so true. Lisa, is she still on here? Let me see. I learned to check on this. Oh, she left as well. Okay. Well, there's only a few of you here. Reminds me of how I am able to be vulnerable with my partner and cry and laugh at this. Yes, absolutely. Raun, is he still here? Let me see. He's also gone. Okay, this is the thing that's tough about the lives. If I don't get to your comments, then hello, Amira. Then a lot of you leave, and then I'm like answering questions too late. Anyways, what's the best way to start healing your inner child? The best thing to do, XOK. What's your name? It's just so I can address you with your name. You know, I did a healing method, a journey, I should say. in which I offer this as well as part of my coaching. But basically is to ideally to have somebody to guide you, because if you are going into a dark room without a light, it can be very scary, right? You don't know if you're going to run into a wall, if you're going to go through a hole. So it can give you a lot of anxiety and not knowing how to even and where to start. So healing the inner child, Irina, thank you so much. Healing your inner child is all about being able to have a guide, right? A guide to walk you through the process, and someone that's an outside perspective, I think, and to bring you like guidance so you can be, so you can be brave to be vulnerable, because you're gonna have to be extremely vulnerable. A lot of things are gonna surface, and once you have that, once you know that you have someone that can be there to support you, I think it's the best way to go about it. And you have to start from early, from as early as you can remember, and bringing up, you know, peace. Like, what was the most happiest thing you can remember at your earliest age, and then what is the first memory you remember, you know, that hurt you? What did that event look like? How old were you, and who was involved, and what happened, and how did you feel ever since? And what's something that I've learned is, not only is this going to be healing, and where forgiveness comes into play, but also you start to understand. You understand how this event that at your earliest age that you can remember that hurt you since you were such a young child, how that affected and changed everything to the moment of now. How you think, how you feel, how you process emotions, how you deal with emotions, and how do you feel in retrospect to everything else, because that one drop of pain that happened is a trickle effect, and it has made it into a bigger and bigger thing with other events, and other events then piggyback on that, and they made it more and more and more and more, and it's all connected. But it goes to that one event when you were a child and you had that first initial really, really painful experience. That's when you were introduced to pain, and you know, it's at such a young age, you don't know to let go, so you just took that, and you're like, oh my God, and then you build up this warrior, this defense mechanism. So thank you, Quantum Blonde. Her name is Lindsay. Yes, she's 100% right. Meditation is such a great tool for getting to know your inner child. I do have some part of my inner child healing. I put my clients through a meditation that is this is a 3-month journey that you go on, in which you have to do this meditation every single day, pretty much Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. And it's just consistency, and is going back to those moments and walking you through a healing process, and really like seeing yourself from as an outsider looking into your inner child, and you know, really healing all that pain that was projected towards you. Been wanting to start on my own, but don't know how. I like the idea of being guided. Yeah, I mean, I was guided. I didn't do it on my own. And, you know, it's important to have, like, I was at a pretty good, strong point also, which is helpful. So, like, if you know yourself well enough where you think, like, hey, I can do this, and feel confident enough that things that will surface, I will deal with them, like, with strength, then yeah, do it by yourself. I don't recommend it, because there are going to be a lot of things that are going to surface, and if it's good to have someone to talk to, and so that's why I would recommend that, like a guiding source that you can talk to, and you can get a perspective, and also your mind can be tricky too when you're being that vulnerable. You can feel like oh, I'm terrible, or you start beating yourself up even more. and that's really toxic, especially when you're trying to heal, right? So it can really be damaging if you don't have someone that's like, actually, that's, you know, don't think like that, you know. Give yourself permission to be kind and really heal, and, you know, have someone that can build you up, can help you really heal that part of your life, in order so you can heal, you can move forward, and you can connect your dots by yourself on other things that you're experiencing at the current moment. Does that make sense? Nice t-shirt. Thank you. It's a shirt. Thank you very much. My Monday shirt for the day. I think the first step is to forgive our parents, then take responsibility to take care of ourselves. Yes, absolutely. And that's part of the process, right? I mean, everybody's just been hurt by different people. I've had clients that and helped people who had great loving parents, but, you know, experienced a traumatic moment, and that was from an uncle, from an aunt, or from a stranger. And that's, even though that's trauma, we all experience some sort of traumatic, right, event that causes that inner child to be what it is, you know, whether it's in pain or in shame or whatever it may be. So whether it's parents or a stranger, yes, that's the first thing I do, is I identify, like, who hurt you, what hurt you, and we look at that together as outsiders looking in, and we understand it without judgment. We look at it without judgment, and we just see it for what it is, and then we break it apart, and I help you understand why this happened, and how that affected you, and how this now affects you, the way you think about it now. And then you're like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way, right? And things start to connect, and it allows you to heal. And forgiveness, whether it's for others and or with yourself, is something that allows for that full healing, because you have to really just forgive. And a lot of people struggle with that because it takes time, you know. So absolutely, you're welcome. It was a pleasure. And if you have any questions, you know, reach out to me. Send me a message on TikTok, although I don't really read a lot of them. Sorry in advance. The best way to get in touch with me is IG, or on the link in my bio. You know, send me a message through there, or set up a one-on-one if you want to talk, a discovery session if you're interested in getting coaching, or if you want to do like a healing method. I'm more than happy to set up a discovery call. We can talk about it. Awesome. Hello, do you work with kids? Yes, I do. I've worked with teenagers mainly. I haven't had like a lot of experience with younger kids, because I think that's I think that's a coaching for the parent, and I like to coach the parent, and so the parent can then you know, help that child. Typically it's the method I see there. But I do have a lot of connections and folks who have worked and enjoy working with kids. So if you're looking for resources, the Quantum Blonde is actually one of them as well, who loves to work with teenagers, and specifically with women, teenage girls. So yeah, just reach out to me. Same thing if you're wanting to either get resources, or if you're interested for me to work with a teenager or a child. If it's out of my scope, I will always give you resources for you to check out, and people for you that I trust in the field, whether psychology or therapy or coaching. So yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. So anyways, I don't know how many of you heard the whole spiel that I talked about earlier, about the warrior and the inner child. Oh, my assistant here is causing troubles. Hey, Whiskey, go this way. This way. Have you guys met my assistant? His name is Whiskey. Come up here. This is Whiskey. Look up here. Look. Okay. So this is a real coach right here. Yes. So I love Whiskey. I love animals for that case. But yeah, if you haven't heard the warrior and inner child thing that I was talking about earlier, is that we all most of us walk around with this, inner. This is the inner child. This is the warrior. We created this warrior with all the experiences, all the pain, everything we've gone through in life, we walk around with this warrior in front of us, and it really causes us to be anxious. It causes us to have anxiety, depression. All these things is from the inner child that is hurting, right? And the warrior is trying its best to protect it. And so you feel unease and you feel uncomfortable, and maybe the inner child is in this really down state, and the warrior is trying its best just to protect it. So it's hard for you to be open to positive things because the warrior it doesn't have a filter. It just protects. That's all the warrior does. And a lot of us walk like this, right? And I teach my clients to walk like this, in alignment with your warrior and your inner child. You should be your inner child. You should feel comfortable being vulnerable, right? And that's, if you're not, like a lot of people are, is because you have some healing to do. And you have to learn that this warrior you've created, it's a tool, and you can use that tool to when you need it, but you don't need to walk around in life, like this, with that inner warrior presence at all times. So I just want to take a moment to answer some questions or anything like that. I know I talked a lot, and that's the thing about TikTok. I also learned that it kind of sucks because people come in and out, and if you're not here from the beginning, you're not gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. And then people leave, and then they don't get to hear the whole thing. So that's why I'm working I'm building workshops. So for those who actually want to hear the whole thing. Also, this is going to be recorded, this is being recorded. So I will post this on my YouTube channel if you gotta go. So you can always go back and watch it. All of my TikTok lives, I repost them on YouTube. So if you want to access my YouTube channel, go to my page, and there's a link, click on it, and it'll give you my podcast link, my setting up a session, and YouTube, Instagram, all of it. It's all right there. So if you want to take a look at this, what you may have missed, it was a really good it was a good conversation today that we talked about the warrior and inner child difference. You can check it out probably within the next couple of days on YouTube. So any questions before I go? Hello, how's it going? Hola. Yes, I do speak Spanish, and people always ask me, can you do some Spanish? Oh man, I'm having a lot of brain farts today. I have so much like going on right now in my mind that sometimes like takes me a while to get back to this. But I do speak Spanish. Yes, I speak Italian as well. But the majority of my audience speaks English, so it wouldn't make sense for me to do lives in Spanish. So I'm sorry, but I have to go with what my audience is, and I think it wouldn't be fair. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Spanish one, like account, but I don't think I will, to be honest, because it's pretty busy. This is what I do for a living, obviously. So I do this. We're working on doing seminars and workshops, and I do also business consulting. There's a lot that I do, so this is like my time to give to you guys and to the society, and also to help people, obviously, and anyone that is interested in working with me, you get a taste of what that will look like, what that would feel like, rather. So I think I don't have time, unfortunately, to do a Spanish account, but I'm thinking about it, see if I can do it. What's the topic? I'm missing the end of this. Yeah, so what's your name? God bless beauty. Yes, so the topic was, again, it's recorded, and I'm going to be posting it on my YouTube channel. So if you want to look at it from the beginning, go on my page and you can access the YouTube channel, or you can look it up yourself, Bravery Consulting. That's my channel, my YouTube channels, but it talks about the warrior and the inner child, and For those of you who have been along all this time, I'm sorry for repeating myself so much. But I'm gonna leave it at that, and you can go back to this Goddess Beauty to my YouTube channel and check it out, because I just want to be mindful for the people that have been here already all this time. But it's warrior and inner child, and how we've all been walking around, you know, with this with depression, anxiety. All this stems from that, from just not healing our inner child, and we should be walking like this in alignment with our warrior and inner child. Okay, any other questions? I got actually I'm over by 2 minutes, but I have a few more. I'll take a few more minutes to take any questions or anything like that. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives, so I think I found them. I have a lot more engagement in the afternoon, so I'm going to probably do that, because the last time I did one, it was a lot more engagement. So, but hopefully this, if you've been through this entire time, hopefully this is something that spoke to you. Hopefully this has been helpful, and something to think about. You know, just be really, really kind every day with yourself. Bring yourself to the present moment, and remember that if you're wanting happiness, if you're wanting more peace in your life, if you're wanting more love, or whatever it is you want, it is literally at your touch, at your creation, in your mind and in your heart. And if you're seeking guidance, if you don't know how to start with that, then that's why people like me exist. You know, we are coaches. That's what coaching is. And I show you how to get there, and I walk you through that process so you can really shine with all of your light. So, you know, just be kind though. You know, always show up with kindness for yourself. And it's not about being selfish. There's nothing selfish about being kind to yourself, because if you're kind to yourself, you're going to be kind to others. If you feel peace within yourself, your exterior world is going to be peaceful. Everything is projected from the inside and out. If you are angry and you're in a lower vibrational state, you're down here, in this vibrational state, and in your mind, everything is negative. So if you think negative about yourself, if you think wrong about yourself, and there's other things, like, everything else is going to look negative. It just is, right? You can think that, let me make an example here. You can think that this is absolutely beautiful today, but next month you can think, man, it's okay. But you see, this never changed. This has always been what it is, which is just it. Whether it's neither beautiful or ugly, it just is. But you changed. You changed. Your perspective, your vibrational field changed. And oftentimes it reflects with how you're feeling inside. And so it's just having complete awareness of yourself, that and allowing yourself to really just be in the true moment, right? Be in your vibrational field, and just find that, allowing yourself to really just let go. Let go of the layers, let go, throw away the masks. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable with yourself. So, yeah. I'm going to leave you with that. And thank you so much, all of you that tuned in. I really hope this was helpful again. And I honestly am so grateful for all of you. You are all incredible people. And I'm so fortunate and lucky to have this opportunity to connect with you in this way. And please spread the love. Spread it within yourself first. And be kind. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And remember that life is beautiful. Life is truly beautiful. Enjoy the rest of the day. I hope this gives you a positive start of your week. And I just want to wish you all and send you all of my love, all of my peace and high vibrations to every single one of you. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day.